And here we are from the Standard. Niagara prepares for CV immunization program. Department is shoring up supplies for a vaccine launch next year. Unbelievable. Here we go. This is what they're prepping for, is to vaccine everybody, to give everybody a shot. And as you can see from this little snip here, it is very, very difficult to create a vaccine, and one is unlikely to come forth, and certainly a safe one, because it deals with the upper respiratory tract, and that is a very, very difficult area to protect. Even as Niagara continues to cope with the CV outbreak, particularly in long-term care homes where cases of infection continues to grow, the Public Health Department is planning for a future effort to protect people from the virus. Although a novel CV vaccine is likely a year away, the Health Department is starting to stock up on equipment necessary for a mass immunization program. Well, isn't that handy? You certainly didn't stock up on masks or any of the really important stuff like ventilators, but now you're all ready to stock up on a vaccine that's not likely to happen. We are slowly preparing for a point next year when we are going to immunize the 450,000 people living in Niagara, or a great proportion of them, said Dr. Mustafa Hiri, the region's acting medical officer of health. We know when the time comes there will be a tremendous global demand for needles and syringes, just as there is currently demand for testing materials, so we are working on stocking up so that we will be ready. And this is kind of interesting, the way they word this. Listen to this. The Health Department has what Harry called the skeleton of an immunization plan in place. Prior to the arrival of CV, it was working on how to enact a vaccine program in the event of a flu or H1N1 outbreak. That plan is being updated so the Health Department is ready to launch once a vaccine becomes publicly available. Here he said a vaccine is the best way to end the threat of CV, which he said is going to be with us now forever and ever. It's not going away. Well, you know what? Every other strain that we have ever had on this planet is still here. So Dr. Hiri, you're talking, well, it's the truth, but you're making it sound scary. Oh, it's never going to go away. Oh my God, I'm so frightened, I'm so frightened. Well, they never go away. What happens is we become immune. Have you ever heard of that, Doctor? Herd immunity? That is where you use your own immunity to fight off all kinds of sickness. Isn't that funny how that works? Not with a vaccine, just with your own body. So can you just stop scaring us? Oh, it's not going away. How to face the future is something, Harry said, is something that must be talked about now, particularly when the growth of CV cases in Niagara appears to be stabilizing. Oh, really? Well, he certainly didn't talk about it after the big outbreak in 2003 of SARS, did you? All of a sudden, it's a serious thing. It's a question of what triggers an easing of restrictions and what kind of risk we, as a society, are willing to take. And that is something I think we need to start talking about now, he said. And here is the growth rate of new cases in Niagara. Oh my God. Here, look, the red line. And we have, oh my God, 385 cases out of 450,000 people. Active cases 204, total deaths 34. And here we are, just like the CDC, they're telling you exactly what's going on. You see this little asterisk here, and it says patient has recovered and not contagious. Deaths are of CV patients, but the virus may not be the cause of death. This number is drawn of currently available data, as public health does not report CV deaths daily. Oh my goodness. So that means that if somebody dies of a heart attack and they happen to have CV, you're going to mark it down as CV? Niagara had another 18 cases of CV confirmed Monday, the majority of them related to outbreaks in 5 long-term care and retirement homes. That brings the total number of cases in Niagara to 384 since the first case was found in St. Catharines on March the 13th. Cases in long-term care homes make up about 33% of the total number of cases. Healthcare workers now comprise 20% of the cases, with most of them connected to the home's outbreaks. The number of new cases connected to travel or other kinds of community transmission have fallen into the single digits, something here he said was made clear in Sunday's case data when only 2 new Niagara cases were confirmed. The product of the lag in waiting for recent test results from homes with outbreaks, Sunday's numbers nonetheless showed how much the spread of the outbreaks slowed down in the larger community thanks to physical distancing and hygiene measures. Neither case was connected to the outbreaks. I have a tough time believing that because, with 380 odd cases, that is not a huge number of people. I don't think it's thanks to social distancing. I just think that it's not a very dangerous outbreak. While Niagara's CV curve is flattening out, Harry said he's not willing to sound the all clear. And of course he wouldn't, because Harry is a doctor, and to doctors, nothing is sterile. I wouldn't even consider that until the situation in the long-term care and retirement home improves, he said. And while the numbers in the community are low, there are still cases out there. And if we don't remain vigilant, those cases can start to multiply quickly. Look, all of these outbreaks follow the same pattern, and that's a bell curve. The outbreak tends to take the low-hanging fruit first, and of course those with stronger immune systems are less affected. That is the 80 to 85% of people that are not going to be affected by all of this. The seniors are in nursing homes, they are being protected, they are being isolated. To continue this shutdown in the broader community makes absolutely no sense at all based on these numbers. And I'm starting to really think that there is something else going on much bigger than just what we're looking at here. Even so, he said, now is the time to start talking about taking steps back towards normalcy, even if it will come in a staggered approach. The approach might lean on determining who is immune to the outbreak, since those who have recovered will have developed antibodies, and that should prevent a repeat infection. Methods like a polymerase chain reaction or PCR test, which detects the remnants of a virus in someone's body, can help public health determine how widespread immunity might be. Here he said there is work ongoing to directly test for CV antibodies, but those tests are not reliable enough yet. Well, I can tell you now, Dr. Harry, if you expect me to be your lab rat and to take one of these test vaccines when there has never, ever been a successful vaccine for an upper respiratory virus, you have got to be out of your tiny little mind. Go experiment on yourself and stay away from me. Okay, if you enjoyed this video, please like, comment and subscribe below. And in the meantime, this is Hound Dog Steve signing off, wishing you a very pleasant evening, and we'll talk very, very shortly. You take care now. Bye.